Hey everybody, Happy New Year! I feel like I need one of those little kazoo things. Anyway, Happy New Year and welcome to YouTube's favorite underground climbing channel. If you're new here, hey, that rhymes. So, in this episode we're going to do a classic YouTube unboxing video and I'll show you what's inside. I think I got a good feeling of what's in here. It came all the way from Wyoming. And we'll make a little lesson out of it. Hint, hint, wink, wink of what's inside here. So, let's get right on top of the table and we'll get started. Let's do it. Excited for this one. Okay, unboxing videos are always so exciting because you really only have one shot to get it right, or otherwise you just mess everything up. I kind of opened this box already, but I didn't open what's in it. They got their little logo spray painted on here. It's pretty cool. So this is made by a company called Skillzboard. Let's open it up. I'll show you what it is. Another climber and his friends went out and made something of themselves and made a cool device for everybody. That's something I can really get behind because I love doing stuff like that too. Oh, cool. So that's a little board here. And we got another board here too. Okay, so it looks like some assembly is required. We have here, I took a quick look at the instructions, and I think what this is for is not only for you to hang on, little hangboard for you, but it also could go on the opposite side of a door, along with what we have here. Let me say, the quality of the wood is very nice. Plywood, not heavy, feels good. The logo looks high quality stuff. Some straps, some webbing here. Okay, this is little door jamb. So basically, if you're gonna hang on, let's say you open your door up, right? Your door is wide open, and you just jumped on and start hanging on it. You're gonna rip the door right off the hinges. So what this is for is it goes under your door on the far side, so the door sits on this and doesn't just sit directly pulling on your hinges. I hope that makes sense. Well, it will anyway, because we're gonna try to do some, we're going to use it. But I don't think I'm going to hang on my door. I have a whole setup. I have a whole hangboard set up. Pimp my hangboard that I could probably hang this off of. So, what is this besides just a piece of wood and a hangboard? Well, what it is you get all these hangers and equipment and quick links and stuff. And what it does is it helps you train and practice like multi-pitching or setting up anchors, setting up top ropes. It's a whole lesson kit. And I think it's an awesome idea. I think like all climbing gyms probably have this in, and maybe if you rent an instructor or something, they could teach you the ways to do the things you got to do when you're up on the top of a mountain or whatnot. And you could put an anchor in this orientation where it's like sometimes you see vertical anchors, and an anchor up top, an anchor down lower. You do 3 anchor setup, possibly even 4 if that's what that's for. Maybe that's for hanging it, I would assume. And then you got some slots in here. And so the whole thing about this is they have it so it's weight bearing, so you could hang on it. I don't think I would put it all the way up at the top of a cliff or to hang on it. That'd be kind of scary hanging it just on a piece of wood. But they say it's load bearing. You could hang your whole body weight on it. And they have some videos on their Instagram of people actually belaying off of trees with this thing and all kinds of cool stuff. So maybe I'll post a couple of those videos right here in this clip while I'm talking, so it's a little more exciting. But so let's put this whole thing together. Let's take a look at the hardware. I won't put the whole thing together on video, but what we'll do is we'll just take a quick look at the hardware. I'll go to the shop. I'll grab some wrenches. I'll slap this thing together, and then we'll do a little training lesson on something. If I can figure something out to do. So here's some quick links to ring, and this is just one of your regular old rock gym type bolts. Screw into there. It's pretty cool. So looks nice, and that's another thing. It's just not just a garbage piece of wood. It actually looks pretty good. And the one of the things I told them when they reached out to me, they said they want to send me this sticker, is they said, another sticker, 2 more stickers, is I said, what's stopping a guy from just buying this stuff and throwing it together, And he said, yeah, there's totally self-aware that you could go out and you could just you know, make something like this, makeshift to practice on it. But with this, you also get, you know, you're getting a hangboard, you're getting some cool stuff here, and he's also putting together a whole lessons plan. So I think what this is retailing at is about $100, and that's not a bad price to get this whole thing already made for you and then shipped to you, and then all the hardware, and you can just put it together. So you know what? That's pretty fair. I think that's pretty fair. So let me, these are 25 kilograms. These things aren't cheap either. That's one thing you can't do when you're up on the mountain. You can't drop things. You can drop them down here and do a little magic trick and bend down and pick it back up. But when you're on a cliff and you drop something, it doesn't come back to you that easily. So anyway, let's get this thing together. Yeah, like I said about 100 times already. We'll do a little lesson. Cool. Okay, so I got this Skillzboard all rigged up right under my hangboard here. And what I found out about this thing here is this actual hangboard part, you could just bolt right into there, and then this thing becomes a hangboard. But anyway, so this is hooked up here. And the only thing I gotta say about it is it feels kind of weird rigging off a piece of wood. Maybe if it was like CNC'd, machined, stainless steel, it'd be heavy as hell, but it would be so bomber. So anyway, yep, I'm gonna show you a quick little problem I ran into one time when I was rope soloing. I'm gonna set it up. This obviously isn't like a perfect lesson because this whole problem could have been solved easily if I had equipment, but I was short on equipment. So I'm gonna show you how I got myself out of a situation when I was in a little bit of a situation rope soloing. So not really a lesson on how things should be done, but on a quick little problem solving skills lesson, I guess. So I'll just rig it up now, and what's good about being up here is that it's warmer, but I have a high chance of my daughter walking in like that from that scene where that newscaster is trying to do a news broadcast or whatever.
Scandals happen all the time. The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for...
Okay, so anyway, I like to put my beaners in first, so I'm gonna put my lockers in. And with these lockers, the gates are so big that the beaner can't just spin around inside the hanger. So you gotta, and I like my beaners facing opposite. So my gates, I like them facing opposite like that. So the way that I'm gonna have to do that is I'm gonna have to get in like this and spin it around. So I have one gate on that side. And this could be a little bit puzzly because I want this gate on this side. And so I'll put it in like this and then spin it around. So I have this gate on that side and this gate on that side, both of them down. And that's really important if you have screw gates because you want them to screw down, not screw up. So we got our beaners in there. And now what I do when I'm rope soloing is I'm only on one line usually, or you can do this on two lines if you tie this in the middle of the rope. But that's a subject for another video. But anyway, let's get myself into here. I'm gonna tie a bunny ear figure 8. Clip that in there. Clip that on there. And now we're rigged up. Now, just for argument's sake, let's just say I'm going up with this gree-gree. And let's hook into that. Let's cinch that up. Okay, so let's say I'm done climbing and I want to get my gear off and I want to rappel down to the ground. How do I do that in this scenario here? Well, first thing you gotta do is you gotta tie another figure 8. So you want to give yourself enough slack to deal with everything. So grab, you know, a couple feet, maybe 6 or something feet, and then make another bunny tail figure 8. This is a live set. You can't just walk in on a live set. So then another bunny tail figure 8. We're gonna clip into here on one side, clip into here on the other side, and now our mission is to get into this, onto this anchor. So we want to get out of this gree-gree and onto this rope. So what we're gonna do, because I'm kind of low on equipment, is I'm just gonna tie an overhand, some half hitches 3 times. With a live load, you want to tie at least 3 times, and then if you have a beaner, you also put a beaner on there and lock it off. But I'm short on equipment, which is what my scenario was, is you want extra equipment, and I didn't have nothing, so I just had this. So the way we're gonna load this thing here is we're just gonna rappel down into it, and then we should load that other anchor. Okay, bam. This is loaded. Okay, now what I should have done is gone a lot higher so that I'm more in frame. So I'm just gonna move up like that and retie that knot just so that I'm more in frame. Okay, so all I've done is I've cinched this up so I'm a little bit higher so that I'm hopefully in frame. And basically you want to make sure you're keeping everything nice and tidy, because rope management is a serious thing. You don't want to create a whole rat's nest of rope and whatnot. So you want to make sure you're doing everything nice and tidy, thinking about everything you're doing. Okay, that being said, so now I'm on this new anchor I just put in, and I'm on this these 3 half hitches onto my beaner. So now I'm gonna fully weight that by rappelling into it on the gree-gree. Okay, so now what I can now do is get out of the gree-gree. So I'm gonna get out of the gree-gree, take this off the gree-gree, and then I'm gonna put my gree-gree back on the beaner, because if it ain't tied in, it's gonna fall. That's the rule. Okay, now what I could do is undo this first figure 8. Completely undo that. I have all these knots on my channel. You can check them out if you're new here, if you like the style. Okay. This is usually a problem that happens. This rope is sitting on top of that one. So there you go. That's not really a big problem, but beaners on top of quick links and stuff, that's just, you know, name of the game. Okay, we're gonna pull this completely through. Okay, so now what we have is we have a rope. The end of the rope is long enough now where we could just go right through these quick links and then rappel down on that. So that's what this whole setup gave us. It gave us all this rope to create a new way to rappel down. And with a gree-gree, we're gonna rappel down basically on one side of the rope. And I've talked about that. With some places, they don't want you doing stuff like that, but in our scenario, this is the way it's gonna be done. So now we're going through the quick links so that we could totally remove our beaners and take our beaners back home with us and not leave it for the next guy. So we're gonna tie figure 8 like this. We're gonna put that through our harness like so. And there we go. Okay, that's this rope right here. We're gonna take care not to make a complete knot out of this situation. And then we're gonna put ourselves back on belay. Okay, and another thing I'll watch out for is you don't put this in backwards, okay? So you put it in the right way, anchor's up there, that's on there. Now we can tighten this up a bit. Okay, take some weight off of this. We're gonna tie a catastrophe knot, just like that. If you don't weight the gree-gree, then you can end up sliding down a bit and stuff, so that's not gonna work. Oh, that's just weird. I've never had an anchor do that before. Okay, so here we are. Okay, we're on our gree-gree, and now we can get off of this. And we got our catastrophe knot, so we can take our hands off the gree-gree. The gree-gree is also slipping a little bit. So if you got a gree-gree that's worn out, it can start slipping on you. So that's why it's also really good to have a, you never know, maybe one day your gree-gree might just get to the point where it's just worn out enough, then it's gonna start making a problem. And the more we weight the gree-gree, the easier it's gonna be to get out of this knot here. Okay. Now, if everything's set up, we should end up with something really clean here. Let's get that off of there, that off of there. Get this knot out of our rope before we rappel down into it. It'd be good to have an end knot at the end of our rope so we don't accidentally rappel off the end of it. It's a common accident. Let's get our gear back. Now here could be a problem. See, if you got all this quick link crap all over the place, you might end up having a hard time getting your locker back out. And a good thing about these lockers here is the nose of the locker doesn't have like a hook at the end. So it's easy to get in and out of ropes and things like that. If this is a big problem for you, like let's say it is for me right now, normally your anchor doesn't normally your anchor doesn't shift up and down and move around. It probably would be better if I just tied this end to that and this end to that. Then my anchor wouldn't be shifting up and down. But basically what we could do is we could weight one side. We could stand up on this anchor. That would take all the weight off of the hell, what the hell, let's just do it. Even though I don't think, it's not gonna work the way I want it to work because the whole anchor is gonna shift around and move around. So the only other way to do it is to pull up on it and get it out and get it unweighted. But let's see, maybe this one's easier to get out first and then we could get the other one out. Sometimes you just have to, if you can't use the carrot, you're gonna have to use the stick sometimes. There you go. Now, let's see if I could do what I was talking about and try to get some weight off the anchor completely. And then it should make it really easy just to get that beaner off. We'll tie. See, these are like the problem solving skills that you need to have when you do certain things. Tying a clove hitch over there. And then, what knot should I tie for my, I'll just tie an overhand. Just like that. Probably better if I tied figure eight because I'll be able to get it out faster, but I don't care. Basically, we're done here. Now I'm just having fun, but we gotta get that beaner out. Okay, so let's stand up on this. Everything's nice and loose now because my weight's off it. Got the beaner, come back down. Little extra steps I wasn't anticipating, but that's the fun of it. Let's get this up a bit. And this is why it's cool to have something like this, because you can practice things that you don't anticipate when you're on the ground. All right. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make sure we keep our hand on the brake line. And we're gonna rappel down and pray that this video isn't an hour long. Well, thank you guys over at Skillzboard for sending that in. They didn't pay me nothing to say anything good about it. They just sent it over, which takes some guts, you know. I could always say it sucks, but I actually kind of like the thing. I think the only thing I have to make it better is if maybe if there was a piece of wood sandwiched, a piece of metal sandwiched between the wood or something like that. I just feel so weird being on a piece of wood. I don't know what the strength rating is for it. But besides that, I like it. I think it's a great tool, a great learning tool. So if you enjoyed this episode, smash that subscribe button, punch it, hit it. Is there a climbing term? Drop a rock on it. And I'll see you guys next time. Josh Perry, climbing out of here.